Hi, my name is Jack Fry. I'm a newcomer to Valley Forge Baptist Temple. It's a beautiful place to be. I can recommend it to anybody. I do with all my friends. I'm here to talk to you about my missions trip. This was my first trip out of the country, as well as my first missions trip. And I have to say, it was a beautiful experience, enlightening. My feet are still up off the ground. Our crew of 12 other people that went there became the best of friends, one of the best new crews that I've ever had in my life. I've been self-employed for 41 years, and I've never had this good of an experience working with new people as this. Just shows you God has powers in all ways to bring people together, to do many good things for other people in His own special way. We got there on late Saturday night, which by the time we got to the hotel was about 1:30 in the morning, and Pastor Stan Templeton decided to take a little tour of the work site at 1:30 in the morning. Most of us went to look at it, and it was dark and scary and quite an experience for me. The next day we did wake up, had a beautiful breakfast at the Templetons, and went to church. We did a lot of work on the church offices that were there. We made bedrooms and bathrooms and kitchens on the floor that we did for the people that worked directly for the church. And we met some great people that were helping the church out. Pastor Edward, along with Pastor Templeton, his wife Ruth, were great people, good hosts and hostesses. Anybody that's interested or has an inkling to help anybody that's a little bit less fortunate than them should try to plan to go on a missions trip. I know a lot of the trips get filled up very easily because of all the help that's willing to go, but if you just let somebody know in the church, they will. They'll see that you go. I had it in my prayers when I heard about how many missionaries we were supporting. It truly was in my heart to see what I could do when I could. It wasn't even an inkling that it would come up this fast being a new member at the church, but as soon as it was said to me, my heart opened up and it became like a natural thing. Besides my newly becoming a Christian, which was one of the best things that happened in my heart, this just, as soon as our team leader, Jay Stong, said it just opened up my heart. And my wife and I looked at each other that day at the service, and it was almost a sealed deal at that point. My wife backed me up 100%.
My name is Philip Martin, and I went with the Peru missions trip this past summer, and it was just such a great experience for me. Going into it, Tim Mills actually invited me along. And he was so excited about it and got me excited about it. And I thought, this is a great opportunity to spend my time this summer serving God and seeing the church in other countries and work alongside with missionaries. And I didn't know what to expect. I was definitely a little nervous going into it, but I feel like I knew a lot of these people and kind of saw them in church on Sundays and shake their hand. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you again. And you bump into them at like church activities and things, but to do every day side by side with these people and be working shoulder to shoulder and sitting on the bus with them after a long day of hard work and just goofing off at the cafe or whatever, it was a great experience. And it was the Christian fellowship and the sense of the service and just the mindset and the atmosphere of that group of people was to serve God and to see His kingdom advanced in Peru. And it was really great. And you form deep relationships almost, overnight. You get to know people in a way you'd never get to know them outside of church or inside of church. And that was just such an unexpected blessing. And, for that reason alone, I'd encourage somebody to go. I think it was one of the highlights of the trip was this elder man in the church down there. I don't know his last name, but we called him Senor Jorge, like George, I guess. And he pulled Tim and I aside one day, and we're in the middle of nailing down rafters or something, and he pulls us aside and just shared some of his wisdom with us and was talking about why it's important to, respect the elders and to listen to them and what we can learn from them. And just like even watching the older men in our community and like how important that was as the young generation as we prepared to lead the next generation. He just talked to us for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But, I soaked up every word. It was just really refreshing that he wanted to share a bit of encouragement and wisdom with us. Oh man, the food, I'll tell you what, the food was so good. That was another great unexpected surprise. I think going on a missions trip is good, and it's important because you take a week out of your life, and in my case, it's a busy life, and sometimes it gets kind of hectic, and you say this week is God's, and the focus is there. And it's not just you, it's everybody you're with. You all know that this week is about serving the Lord, and you have that time of daily fellowship and devotions with them. And it puts, not only does it put the church into perspective, but it kind of puts your daily pursuits into the broader perspective of, what am I doing with my life? What is this all about? And what's really important? It's good to take a page out of time and really think about eternal things. And a missions trip is a good way to spend a week doing that.